What I'm about to report to you is probably one of the most earth-shaking, colossal reports that I've ever done here at the Calvary Prophecy Report. And I believe that it will lead directly to biblical prophecy. And it very well may not be that far down the road, but however long it is, it looks like this very well may be the direction that this prophecy goes. And let me tell you what the article is. It's an article from HNGN. I've never really heard of it before, but what they're saying makes a tremendous amount of sense. Now, it's talking about, the article basically talks about the oil found in Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, and that it could spark a new war in region, and that war in the region could be what we call the Gog and Magog war. Now, hear me out on this. Now, I have always believed from the beginning that when Russia and Iran and their allies came down upon Israel, that they would be coming down upon the nation of Israel for no other reason but to take a spoil. Meaning that it would be unsolicited and it would be unsanctioned not only by the international community but also by the UN and the United States. I mean, Ezekiel 38 does say that there will be those who will protest this war, and one of them will be Saudi Arabia. Now, this is what the article basically says. Enormous oil reserves have recently been discovered in the highly disputed territory of Golan Heights. Israel has occupied the region since taking it from Syria during the 1967 Six-Day War, but the area is still recognized by the international community as Syrian territory. And that's something you need to pay attention to and keep in the back of your mind as I read this. With the discovery of comes massive geopolitical implications, leaving some to wondering if it could serve as a catalyst to throw the region into complete chaos. And you can bet that it will. But going on with the article, it says, despite Israel's claim to the region, the United Nations recognizes Golan Heights as Syrian territory and has declared Israel's laws and jurisdiction null and void without international legal effect. UN Resolution 242 calls for the withdrawal of Israeli armed forces from the area, but Israel disagrees with the wording and says the territories are disputable according to RT. The new oil reserves, estimated to contain billions of barrels of black gold, were found in an area with a 1,150 feet thick strata, about 10 times larger than the global average, but the specific quantity or quality of the oil will not be determined until drilling starts, according to the Daily Mail. So at this point in time, they really don't know how big this oil find is, but they know it's mammoth. And the fact that the strata is 10 times thicker than a normal strata and is also about 10 times larger than the global average. And frankly, I don't really know the implications of all these figures, but it tells me right there that the thicker the strata is, the better and the bigger this oil find could be. Now, going on with the reading of the article, it says Syria now has renewed motivation to forcefully take the area back from Israel and is expected to contest Israel's claim to the oil. With Russia, Iran, and possibly even China backing Syria, some fear things could get ugly, especially with the ongoing civil war taking place just across the border in Syria, where Russia has already established a military presence, reported Fox News. Israel now faces the logistical, monetary, and security challenges of protecting the future oil fields so close to the war zone, and the country is not likely to willingly relinquish control anytime soon. Israel currently consumes about 270,000 barrels of oil a day and imports up to 3/4 of its oil from the semi-autonomous region of Kurdistan in northern Iraq, according to RT. The new discovery could make Israel energy independent and at the same time provide a rich source of revenue. Now let me explain to you where I think this is headed. As I said earlier, I've always believed that Russia would just one day come down upon Israel with their allies and try to take over Israel, stealing their oil supply and their oil discoveries, natural gas discoveries right out from underneath them, on their way down to either Egypt or Saudi Arabia. But now it's beginning to be a little clearer. And you know what? I've always wondered, well, why in the world would the United States or any of their allies allow Russia to do something of this nature? Well, the answer is getting clearer and clearer to me all the time. It is now becoming clear that with the backing of the UN and most of the international community, who now, or who has always backed the fact that the Golan Heights does belong to Syria, at least that's what they believe, Russia will now have within its possession the legal right to come down upon Israel's Golan Height and take that land back from Israel. And frankly, I am convinced that is the spoil that the Bible is talking about in Ezekiel 38, when Russia, in verse 4, will come down upon Israel. And they won't be coming alone. They'll be coming with Syria. They'll be coming with Hezbollah. They'll be coming with Iran, Iraq, and this article indicates China possibly. And it is my belief that Russia is going to take this land, or should I say they're going to attempt to take this land, and it will be with the legal blessing of the international community and the UN. Now, certainly the United States and some of their allies may protest, but that is not going to stop Russia from coming down, and I don't believe that they will step in. But this is simply the scenario that I see. As stated in Ezekiel 38, Russia and a host of nations will come down upon Israel and try to retake the Golan Heights. I believe the Golan Heights, which Syria and Israel are now disputing control of, Russia will get it in their mind to come down and take possession of that and take it away from Israel. And certainly the spoil that they will take is the billions and billions of earth oil and gas that could very well be in that region. They will take it as their spoil, and I believe that Syria will give them this spoil, or at least a good portion of it, in exchange for finally taking the Golan Heights away from Israel. So as you can see, all of the players and all of the pieces are in place right now, and I do believe that one day Russia will decide to legally go down and use Resolution 242 as their defense for taking this area back. And no nation's going to stand in their way, including the United States or their allies. But this oil discovery right now is uncharted, and nobody really knows exactly how much is in there, but they know that it's very possible that it could be a mammoth discovery. Now the question is, how long down the road will it be before they finally decide to take action and try to take back the Golan Heights, along with the rich bounty that it possesses? Well, certainly nobody really knows at this point in time, but I frankly believe that they'll probably try to eliminate Assad's enemies, such as the rebel forces that were previously being trained by the United States, and also ISIS. They may try to eliminate them first. So this may not be an immediate war that will take place, but I believe that it's not that far down the road. But once the region is under control, I believe that they will set their sights on taking back the Golan Heights, along with the oil and possible natural gas or whatever else may be involved on the Golan Heights. But before they are able to breach the territory of Israel, I believe that God will supernaturally destroy them in their territory as they prepare to attack Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, we may very well be in the midst of seeing something supernatural take place while we're still here, even before the rapture takes place. But I certainly don't discount the fact that the rapture may very well take place simultaneously, or before this war commences, or even after it commences. But I am certainly convinced that something supernatural is in play and very well could take place in the very near future. And if you don't know the Lord, today is the day of salvation. 150,000 people die every single day. The Bible says that the vast majority of them will end up in a burning hell. You need to make a decision for Christ today. It's not, there's no time to wait. You can't, number one, you can't determine whether you're going to live another day. And secondly, we are on the cusp of the Lord coming back to rapture the church. And Christian and non-Christian, you may see something supernatural take place before that even happens. So if you don't know the Lord, your time is simply running out. And Christians, you know people today that you believe will be left behind because they simply won't come to the Lord. I would encourage you to get them a copy of this book before it's too late. You simply don't want to leave their fate up to the world, because if you do, they're going to take the mark of the beast. They're going to take the mark of the Antichrist. Download a copy today, or order a copy of my paperback version that you can hand them personally. You know, someone suggested yesterday that you get your lost loved one or friend a copy of this as a birthday present or as a Christmas present. We are entering into that season pretty soon, and that would be a very good idea if you were to do so, but I would do it in a hurry if I were you. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.